Hey guys, so it's me again. Just wanted to do a video here for you guys again. Hopefully you can hear me in here. Um, so I'm over being sick, or at least getting there anyways. Mostly over it. Um, so anyways, just wanted to do like a video here for you. I know I said that already. Repetition, yay. Anyways, so I know before I said I was going to talk some more about Star Wars, but I just want to kind of talk about, I don't know, a couple different things. So I guess the first one that I wanted to mention is, and I'll try to put the link down in the video description, but we now have a Discord. So if you guys have a Discord, if you guys have the Discord app, then you can, there's a link. Well, like I said, I'll put the link down in the description, and then on the on our actual channel page, up in the links, there is now a link to our Discord, and you can join that, and I'll be on there like chatting with you guys and stuff, talking about Star Wars and anime and whatever else you guys want to talk about. But anyways, so a couple other things. What else? So the Discord thing, that's new, so that way we can get out there and connect with you guys even more than through the videos and stuff. And I know I keep saying we. Becca's kind of, I don't really know if she wants to have involvement in this channel still or not. I think she does, but not necessarily on camera, because of the fact that she doesn't feel good a lot of times, which is why we got away from making videos, because she didn't feel good, and then when she did feel good, I didn't feel good. So anyways, because of that, we ended up getting away from making videos in the first place. So I think she wouldn't mind doing the videos, but if we do, it's going to be like audio with just like a still picture, so that way she doesn't have to, you know, like try to fix herself up for camera, which I told her, I was like, it's probably not necessary. I'm sure people just want to, you know, want the interaction with you and stuff. But anyways, so she'll probably be involved through like that format of these videos. Sorry, I still haven't found my tripod mount, so I apologize if it's shaky. I'm just holding it with my hands here. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is what I'm wearing on my shirt here, Attack on Titan. If you didn't know, I'm pretty pumped for it, and I think it's, I'll have to look up the exact date, but I believe it's coming out in, I want to say it's August, the 3rd season of Attack on Titan. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And if you keep hearing this noise, that is our roommate Tamaya's little kitten. I don't know if you can see him down in there. See the kitten? Look at the kitten. Everybody look at the kitten. He's so cute. Look at it. Oh. He's cute. His name's Loki, because he's a troublemaker. Anyways, that's Tamaya, the YouTube fairy. She's our roommate now for right now, and that's her little kitten Loki. But anyways, what else? So Star Wars. That is a hot button topic right now. There's a lot of YouTube channels that are talking about this and complaining, and a lot of people are going, maybe over and beyond the level of complaining that they should. I don't know. But maybe not, because to me it seems as though they've Lucasfilm, because it's now not under Lucas anymore, and it's just solely in name that it is Lucasfilm, and it's a completely different set of people running the show, essentially. It feels like they don't necessarily care about the original storyline and what George was trying to create originally. And I know a lot of people say, oh, George sold out when he made 1, 2, and 3. And I mean, yes and no. Like, you got to look at it from George's perspective. He said, well, Han Solo wanted to be killed off in episode 4 because Harrison Ford said the character had no depth. Which, I mean, when you look at Han Solo on the surface, he doesn't have depth. He's my favorite character, but he doesn't have depth as a character. Like, there's nothing to really delve into, even though they decided to delve in and make a movie anyways for whatever reason. Which, the coolest part of that whole movie was honestly the Kessel Run. But anyways, they don't seem to care about that, like the storytelling of Star Wars. It's more, and I know I said this kind of in the last little rant that I had, but it's more about like trying to get whatever viewpoint they want to try to sell into the movie, whether it's animal rights or some sort of social justice thing, and that stuff has its place, but I would say that place is not necessarily in a Star Wars movie. Star Wars movies should be about telling the story and, like expounding upon what was already laid out in 4, 5, and 6. Like, that should be where they're trying to go with this. Not, let's make a movie that, is focused on animal rights and cruelty to animals and things like this. And it's like, okay, that's fine for, like, if you want to go have a protest and, do things like that, but can we not, like, put it into a movie and cram it down everyone's throat? Like, some people might be for animal rights, some people might not be, and they just want to enjoy a Star Wars movie about, like, Jedi fighting against the bad guy. Like, because at the end of the day, that's really all the movies are about, is just good guys against bad guys. Like, it's not about, trying to sell some sort of viewpoint one way or the other. Becca's over here looking at me all funny. She's like, what are you doing? She doesn't know she's now on YouTube. She's like, thanks, I'm not all fixed up like I wanted to be. But anyways, so, like, I think that's the big thing right now, though, is like, there's so many channels out there that are already complaining about that, and I don't want to necessarily jump on the bandwagon, but I can't entirely say that they're wrong either. So, like, what is the future then of Star Wars? Like people like me who've been fans, I don't know, I would say basically my whole life. I watched 4, 5, and 6 first when I was a young kid, and then I was like a teenager-ish. Well, I was I don't know, somewhere early teens, I think, when they re-released them into theaters back in the I don't even know what that was. And then I was a much older teenager when they started releasing like the new or well, I guess not the new ones now, but what was the new back then Star Wars movies of like the Phantom Menace and all those. So like, you know, I grew up with Star Wars basically, and I loved the storytelling of it. And my favorite is still 4, 5, and 6. My favorite is 5, and I love the 5 because it's one of those movies where like the bad guy wins basically at the end of the day. You know, like the good guy kind of runs away with his tail tucked between his legs, and you know there's gonna be like more to come because they leave it at that point where like, you know, the good guy got whipped, but he can come back and whip the bad guy. So you know that that's like coming, but at the same time, it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, the good guy just lost. Like, WTF, man. So, I don't know. I like that type of thing. And that wasn't real common back in the, you know, early 80s to do. Because everybody wanted, like, happy endings and stuff, you know. You had movies like 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club and all these types of movies coming out back then that were all happy endings and stuff. So, but anyways, I kind of derailed myself there. So the future, future of Star Wars. So like they've made, I liked 7 because 7 kind of brought everything back and it rebooted the series. But then they felt the need to like branch off into other stories that we kind of already knew the story, but it's just like, hey, let's make a movie of this story that we already know because we gave it backstory in another movie. So like, you know, they just felt the need to, and don't get me wrong, I think Rogue One was a decent movie, but I mean, we already knew what happened. Like, we knew that there was, like, it was talked about in episode 4. Like, there was a group that went and they, you know, lost their lives basically to get the plans for the Death Star. Like, that was already a known thing, you know. But I guess they felt the need to tell more to the backstory, which is fine. Like, it was a good movie. Now, the one I think that kind of really didn't need to be told is the Han Solo story. Like, I mean, I'm a huge Han Solo fan. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be either Han Solo or Indiana Jones, which basically means I wanted to be Harrison Ford. But, you know, as much as I like Han Solo, like, because of the fact that he's not a greatly detailed and depth-filled character, I don't think there needed to be a story told about his backstory. Like, that was kind of like a waste, I think. So, I don't know. But the plan, I think the plans are they're going to keep making, like, at least episode 9, I believe. And from what I've heard, there's going to be 10, 11, and 12, I believe, as well. And then they're going to keep making, like, additional side branch stories. I think they're talking about, like, Boba Fett, which that one actually wouldn't be too bad, I think, if they do it right. But with the current track record of Lucasfilm, I don't know if they're going to do it right. So it just makes me nervous. Anything else, and I'm, as a fan, like, I'm to the point where, do I even want to, like, continue to support them making these movies? Like, do I want to keep, you know, like, going and watching these movies and funding, like, these movies that I don't actually enjoy? You know, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of like a crossroad of, like, my fandom for Star Wars. Like, I love Star Wars, but at the same time, you know, it's painful watching some of the stuff that they're doing, and, you know, like, I'm trying not to, like, go in depth and, like, you know, put my viewpoints on you guys, because, like, I want you guys to have your own viewpoints, you know, like, that's what makes people is their individual viewpoints. Some people loved the Solo movie, and I didn't think it was necessarily as bad as other people were making it out to be, but I don't think it was a very good and or well produced movie. It lacked yeah, I mean, like Becca said, it lacked a lot of things. Mainly good acting. You know, I don't even know the actor's name, but the guy they picked to play Harrison Ford didn't really look, or, well, to play Han Solo, didn't look anything like Harrison Ford. And I get, you know, that, like, obviously you're not going to cast Harrison Ford because it's supposed to be a young Han Solo, but you find an actor that can do a young Han Solo, you know. You don't find just some random guy, and for that matter, some random guy that is not that great at acting, honestly. He's there, like, when we watched, so Becca and I went and watched it, and much to my, I don't know, reluctance, I guess, but we went and watched it, and so Ron Howard was called in last minute to kind of take over, and I like Ron Howard as a director. I think he's actually a very good director. So I hate that they ended up having to credit Ron Howard with producing, or not producing, I guess, but with directing the Han Solo movie, because I don't think it does Ron Howard justice. And I know I'm covering, like, so much stuff here, and I'll wrap this up pretty quick, but they had two other guys that tried to make this movie first, and they tried to make it a comedy, and they had this poor acting, you know, cast, I guess. I mean, Donald Glover was pretty good, actually, as Lando, but the other guy just not good at all. And, you know, when you see the scenes that Ron Howard had to come in and refilm, you see the difference, because the guy playing Han Solo in one half of the scene is, like, terrible at acting as far as acting goes, and then all of a sudden he gets slightly better, and it's like, okay, like, the camera angle changed and he's a slightly better actor, so this is obviously a scene that they had to reshoot. You know, and then they recycled, I don't know, basically 90% of the track, you know, the soundtrack for the movie. It was all stuff that had been done for other movies, and I think they just rushed it, basically. If they wanted to do it, they should have taken their time and done it right, and made sure that they had a director that had an appreciation for Star Wars and for Han Solo himself, because that's the real problem, is that they're bringing in people that have no appreciation for the franchise, no appreciation for the characters and the development that has gone into the story and all this stuff, And it just makes people like me get a little heated about it when you mess up something that we love. Like, just don't, don't poop in our brownies, all right? like just give the fans what the fans want. Stop trying to pander to like freaking stupid things. Just listen to the fans and give the fans what the fans want.
Well, the biggest problem is the fact that the people that have been over this have been attacking the fans on social media.
Yeah, Becca brings up a good point. That is another thing. Like, Rian Johnson is probably the biggest offender. The guy who directed whatever it was, the Last Jedi, the last Star Wars flop, whatever you want to call it. The travesty that was a Star Wars movie. So, Rian Johnson, that jackwad, we'll keep it nice, goes on social media and he outright assaults verbally the people who are consumers of the movie. Like, I don't understand why you feel the need to assault the people who are supposed to go watch your movie. Like, I don't get that. Like, what makes you think that that's like a good idea? I don't know. Sorry, my phone is going off. I apologize, guys. I don't know what like makes you feel that is something, that makes sense in your head. I don't know. But again, that is the root of that, though, is that they brought him in. He had no experience with anything Star Wars. He didn't even know really what Star Wars was, and has no appreciation for the fans. So, I mean, it goes back to what I said. You gotta listen to the fans. If you give the fans what they want, you will make all the money that you could ever want to make off the Star Wars franchise. But they're not doing that. And because of that, because 8 was not that great, or if you're of my opinion, 8 was terrible. 8 was like the worst Star Wars movie literally ever made. Like, I would rather have Jar Jar Binks than have Episode 8. Like, just give me like 20 movies with Jar Jar Binks and I would prefer that over Episode 8. That's how much I hated that movie. And then people are like, oh, this movie's terrible and stuff like that. And then Rian Johnson comes out and is like, I don't care what you think, you guys are a bunch of blah, 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 and, assaults people. And, like, you didn't get it from, like, before when people were like, hey, this is what we want. This is what we want. Like, the masses took to the internet and told you literally what they wanted to see. Like, give them that, and they will come out in droves to watch what you produce. But until then, I mean, I think you're going to keep getting movies that flop, like Han Solo. And, like, I'm kind of glad that it did flop, because I think that it has prompted Disney to go, whoa, hold on, what the heck is going on over here at Lucasfilm? And, maybe it'll change things, maybe not. I think, Kathleen Kennedy, I think, is out the door, but I don't know if the person replacing her is going to be any better. So, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. But, anyways, this video's been almost 25 minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go. Be sure to check out the Discord, and, you can, there's already a Star Wars, section set up in the Discord, so you guys can get on there, give me your opinions, Tell me what you think, and we'll talk about it more probably in the next one. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a great day. Bye.